Exactly. Ordered one. 2 smokes today. Got big fish from across the street. So.
Technical difficulties, and as soon as we get them figured out, we'll be able to start the meeting, but because we have to have a virtual meeting as well, we're just waiting to get some technical stuff figured out. So thank you for your patience.
Hello, this is Troy, your host, doing a mic check.
Hello, Troy. This is Vince from the hearing room. Can you hear me?
Yes, thank you. Ready when you are.
All good here.
This is Troy, your host. We are live and recording.
Thank you, Troy. Good afternoon and welcome to the Douglas County Board of County Commissioners business meeting on Tuesday, March 23rd, 2021. It is now 1:37 in the afternoon. Would you all please stand and join us in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, everyone, and again, welcome to today's meeting. I apologize that we're running a little behind. We had some IT issues, but our team back there got it fixed, so thank you, gentlemen, for getting us up and running. To Mr. Ingles, the county attorney, do we have certification for all items on today's agenda?
We do, Madam Chair. My office has reviewed all items on the agenda, and they all meet legal approval.
Thank you, Mr. Ingles. Do any commissioners have any disclosures for any items on today's agenda?
I have none, Madam Chair. Thank you.
No, ma'am.
And I have none either. The first thing we're going to do today is listen to a presentation from Clerk Merlin Klotz from the Clerk and Recorder's Office. His office won a wonderful award from the U.S. Elections Assistance Commission. It was an honorable mention on the 2020 Clearinghouse Awards. Clerk Klotz, would you like to come forward, please?
Wendy, you and Laura want to join me? Yeah,
Come on up. It was a team effort, I bet.
it was a team effort. I'm pleased to share with you that the Douglas County has been recognized by the United States Election Assistance Commission with an honorable mention in the 2020 Clearinghouse Award for Outstanding Innovations in Elections. In EAC vernacular, honorable mention is the award, not just a participation ribbon. EAC recognizes only 2 jurisdictions in each of 7 categories: improving accessibility for voters with disabilities, best practices in recruiting, retaining, and training poll workers, outstanding innovations in elections, cybersecurity and technology, and outstanding innovations in elections for 3 different categories: small, medium, and large jurisdictions, and most creative and original I voted sticker. Members of our clerk and recorder and public affairs teams are being honored for our innovative and collaborative campaign, Trusted Elections Information and Watcher Liaison Program. Recognizing a critical need to provide voters with a trusted source of information, the Douglas County Clerk and Recorder's Office conducted an extensive outreach campaign in the 2020 elections. The office created a Trusted Elections Information webpage, produced several voter education videos, published a frequently asked questions and quick reference guide, and developed a poll watcher liaison program to oversee the large number of poll watchers across the county. The efforts helped staff create an ongoing dialogue with citizens and media. Honorees named are Cody Winslow, Chief Deputy; Jack Twite, Deputy of Elections; Kyle Roulier, Logistics and Technology Supervisor; Luke Deschamps, Elections Services Manager; Laura Skirty, Communications Project Manager; Wendy Holmes, Director of Communications and Public Affairs; Drew Bouchard, Video Content Producer; Carrie Gross, Senior Communications Specialist; and Rhonda Gentry, Project and Content Coordinator. Please join me in congratulating this team for being recognized by the EAC for its enterprising spirit in improving elections administration while advancing new and innovative concepts.
Thank you, Clerk Klotz. Would anyone else like to speak, either Wendy or Laura?
Obviously, I stand here representing a very powerful team, commissioners, and without Carrie, Rhonda, and Drew, this would not have happened. And it was an incredible professional privilege to work with the clerk's office on this campaign. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Holmes.
I will just concur and say thank you very much on behalf of the Clerk and Recorder and our Elections Division. We're thrilled to get that national recognition for something we do every election, and we will continue to improve. So thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Skirty. Comments for Clerk Klotz and his staff?
Well, absolutely. Just a hearty congratulations to Clerk Klotz, to Laura, Wendy, and all of the staff involved in this important project. No doubt in this last election cycle, there was high demand from the population to see an objective and fair election that was not politicized. So our appreciation for those endeavors, and best of luck in the future.
Thank you, Madam Chair. So Merlin, Clerk Klotz, I can't, I sit, just like the other commissioners, sit on many boards and commissions across the metro area and at the state level. And over and over and over again, I keep getting congratulations for, I don't know what I did to make you so good and make your office so good, but I keep getting the congratulations. And so I'm going to take this opportunity to tell you that, no, you and your office is so well respected throughout the metro area, throughout the state. And so this is an award well won. Congratulations.
So Merlin, and to Wendy and Laura, you represent a team. And we often hear this about Douglas County, but Douglas County is so successful because we believe in the power of partnership, and you all three demonstrate that along with everybody else you work with. This last election was the most contested that I have ever paid any attention to. I mean, we've had issues with voting until 1 o'clock in the morning and things like that, but with so many people questioning the outcome of the election, that for you and your team to receive this kind of award, I think speaks volumes to the integrity that you bring to the process. So please accept my thank you and congratulations and share that with your team. Thank you again.
Thank you.
The next item on the agenda is item number 2, which is citizen comments. Are there any citizens in the room who would like to address the board on any topic? And I'll go ahead and accept anything for consent items as well. Please come forward, sir. If you could give us your name, spell your last name, and give us your address, please, before you start.
Okay, my name is Craig Barber. Address is 8605 South Brentwood Court in Littleton, 80128. Was there something? Oh, Barber, like a barber shop?
Yeah, just spell it.
Okay, I was here last week, the first time I ever addressed the board, so I apologize for not being as prepped as I am today, but things have changed in the past 2 weeks. We're here celebrating your proclamation to try to make the county open and free as soon as possible and pass that on to the state for their recommendations. Knowing full well, they may not ever listen to them. I decided I'd help you guys out with that today, okay? Since then, things have changed. They're looking to open up and not have the mask mandate come April 4th. We hope that stays true. If it doesn't, we suggest you go ahead and say Douglas County is not going to honor any mask mandates at this point in time because they've been set up illegally without consent of the Colorado legislature through our governor, okay? I have recommendations and guidelines for you here that at the end, if I can approach, I'll let you see them and all. The other thing that we should look at too is we just met with the sheriff. I work with Colorado Open and Free. He stated on several occasions to us that he wouldn't be enforcing mask mandates in the county anyway, so that's already kind of going on at this point in time. The one thing the business owners would like to see is the rescinding of the 5-star agreements that Douglas County as a group signed up with or were on board with the state of Colorado. The state of Colorado has breached their agreement not to let them operate at a higher level than the current level the county is at most of the restaurants currently participating. You mentioned last week you didn't want to do anything that would affect fines and everything else to these businesses. We can tell you, the sheriff and I can, to a person, that there isn't a single restaurant in Douglas County that can do the contact tracing where they get the name and information of the people and log all their movement within their restaurant every single time they come in. That's not going on anywhere. Because of it, they could be shut down, fined, or anything else on their own, just being on the 5-star agreement. So we recommend, in addition to the openness of not wearing masks anymore, that the 5-star agreements in Douglas County unincorporated be rescinded. Many of them are operating over 50% seating capacity. The color wheels on the agreement never let them go over 50%, which means they'll all be out of business by the end of the year. The recommendations that we would suggest is face coverings optional for customers and employees effective after the 4th of next month. Seating capacity starting at 60% capacity in May for seating, increased by 10% each month until we hit 100%. operational hours go back to normal by May 1st or so. And if I can approach, I can give you guys each a copy of the guidelines.
If you could just hand them to the county attorney, please, and he'll distribute them.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, and thanks for the proclamation. And if you want to do a mask burning party, I'm your guy.
Thank you, Mr. Barber. Is there anyone else in the room who would like to address the board? Seeing no one come forward, Ms. Dunning, is there anyone online who would like to address the board?
Thank you, Commissioner. I have no hands raised.
Thank you. We will move then on to item number 3, the consent agenda. Is there any discussion, or are we ready for a motion?
Madam Chair, I can make a motion to approve the requests on all items A through T of the consent agenda.
And I'll second.
Okay, we have a first and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, and that motion carries. Thank you. We'll move on to the regular agenda. The first item is item number 4A. This is a resolution proclaiming April as Child Abuse Prevention Month. Ruby Richards is coming forward with the resolution.
And Commissioner Thomas, the exhibit submitted by Mr. Barber, it's a one-page exhibit, is labeled Exhibit 1 for today's business meeting.
Thank you, Mr. Ingles.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. Once again, it's my pleasure to be here to read the proclamation claiming April as Child Abuse Prevention Month. So, the Board of County Commissioners of the County of Douglas, Colorado, resolution proclaiming April as Child Abuse Prevention Month. Whereas all Douglas County children deserve to grow up in a safe and nurturing environment free of abuse and neglect, and whereas child abuse and neglect is a serious problem affecting every segment of our community, and finding solutions requires input and action from everyone in our community. And whereas Douglas County Human Services received 3,724 reports of child abuse and neglect hotline in 2020. Whereas effective child abuse prevention programs succeed because of partnerships amongst human services, schools, mental health agencies, nonprofit and faith-based organizations, law enforcement agencies, healthcare providers, and the business community, along with parents and grandparents. And whereas families and the public can report suspicions of child abuse and neglect by calling 303-663-6270 or 1-844-CO4-KIDS or 264-5437. And whereas child abuse and neglect often occurs when people find themselves in stressful situations without family or community resources and not knowing how to cope. Whereas child abuse and neglect can be reduced by making sure such families have support and knowledge they need to raise their children in a healthy and loving environment. Whereas everyone in the community should become more aware of child abuse prevention and consider helping parents so that they can raise their children in a safe and nurturing environment. Be it resolved that the Board of County Commissioners of the County of Douglas, Colorado, hereby proclaim the month of April 2021 to be Child Abuse Prevention Month in Douglas County and urge all citizens to work together to address and significantly reduce child abuse and neglect now and in the future. Passed and adopted the 23rd date of March 2021 in Douglas County, Colorado.
Thank you for reading that for us, Ruby. I think that there have been some really difficult times in your department, and yet you and the rest of the leadership team are always so positive and continuing to lead your team to support our really vulnerable children, so thank you. Any comments?
I have one, Madam Chair. This board does not always agree, and nor should we. But one of the wonderful things we always do agree upon is our support for human services and the work you do to protect kids. Deeply passionate about everything that you take on a daily basis to ensure kids in Douglas County are safe. And I just want to highlight your work to advocate with many stakeholders and partners, House Bill 21-1099, to ensure that caseworkers can address domestic abuse as a form of child abuse or neglect. So doing great work in Douglas County, and we appreciate all you're doing there.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Yeah, Ruby, thanks so much for bringing this to us today and letting us participate in the work that you do every day and your team does every day. I certainly appreciate it, as I've said a couple times, coming from the municipal level. This is new work for me. This is work I haven't been involved in. So number one, thank you for your team, kind of being patient with me and taking me through the ropes. And thanks again for bringing this before us and letting us be a part of this.
Thank you so much, and thank you all for your support.
Thank you. Are there any citizens who would like to address the board on this topic? Seeing no one come forward, Ms. Dunning, is there anyone online?
I have no hands raised.
Thank you. I would just like to make a comment that as part of CCI's representation on the state's child fatality review team, I sat on that team for 2 years, and Ruby really helped me understand the purpose of that. And we reviewed cases of any child fatality or an egregious injury. And those were really heart-wrenching sometimes. But the purpose of that team was to get better, to understand what can the system do better to protect children while still keeping children with the most important people, who should be the most important people in their lives, their parents. And so the work that the Child Fatality Review team is so important. And furthermore, as the coroner in this county, for 4 years, I observed autopsies, and that included children who'd been murdered. And until you see that, you don't, even now, I don't understand how that can happen, but that made it so clear to me about why we have to have an excellent human services team and why this proclamation is so important. Because what it does is it reminds the community that if you see something involving a child that isn't right to you, it's okay for you to call. We've all read stories on the internet about a waitress who saw a child and made a phone call and really saved that child's life. So don't ever be worried about, oh, I don't want to be a tattletale. This isn't my business. It is your business. So thank you for this really important proclamation, Ruby. Any other comments before we take a motion? Okay, I'll take a motion then.
Madam Chair, move to approve a resolution proclaiming April as Child Abuse Prevention Month.
Second.
First and a second, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, and that motion carries. Thank you. Item number B, which is the Entertainment District Trail Construction Contract with Elite Industries. Steve Schulz for staff. Steve.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Good afternoon, Commissioners. Let me get set up here really quick.
Thank you.
Good afternoon. I'm here today to present the construction contract, bid number 0021 for the construction of the Entertainment District Trail in Lone Tree, Colorado. So the amount that the bid came in at was $300,333. And again, that's for the construction of the Entertainment District Trail in Lone Tree, Colorado with Elite Industries, Inc. I apologize. I don't know why it keeps popping off.
Do you need an IT person to come help you,
I
Steve?
think we got it.
Okay.
I apologize again.
Oh, you're fine.
So in 2015, the City of Lone Tree, South Suburban Park and Recreation, and Douglas County staff began planning and design efforts for this section of trail. Plans for this trail are roughly 1/3 mile of concrete trail, which is 8 foot in width. And included in the project too is irrigation system improvements and landscape design improvements. So here is a map of the project. We see Park Meadows Drive there. And then just for reference, we see I-25 and as it connects. So what currently exists there in that area is just a social trail, kind of uneven footing. And this will provide a connection to an existing trail that leads down to all the businesses down there in the lower part of Park Meadows Drive. Just outside the screen on the bottom right-hand side, that's the RTD station, just for another point of reference. So providing a shorter connection down to that portion of Lone Tree. So staff assessment of the project is that we support the approval of construction contract for bid number 002-21 for the Entertainment District Trail in Lone Tree, be awarded to Elite Industries, Inc. in the amount of $300,000 or $300,333. Turn it back over to you, Madam Chair, for any questions from the board.
Thank you, Steve. Questions?
I have no questions, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Hey, Steve, so there was an amendment in the packet. And sorry, again, something that kind of threw me off is seeing an amendment come forward. What was the nature of the amendment as opposed to the original agreement?
So the amendment in the packet was just expanding the trail width.
Okay.
South Suburban suggested an amendment to go to the 8-foot width of trail, which I believe is 2 feet wider than the original design. So
that would be my question, Madam.
Thank you. And this is entirely in the city of Lone Tree, is that correct?
Yes, it is in the city of Lone Tree.
And is Lone Tree putting any funding into this project?
No, Commissioner, they are not. This project was kind of viewed as an opportunity for a share back from the park sales and use tax.
Right, so this comes from the .17 sales tax. And my point is that Lone Tree has been asking for shareback money, and yet here's an example of shareback money that they're getting, right? So thank you. I would just like to put that on the record. I'm going to open this up to citizen comments. Are there any citizens who would like to approach the Board of Commissioners and address this topic? Seeing no one come forward, Ms. Dunning, is there anyone online?
I have no hands raised.
Thank you. I will close citizen comment, bring it back to the board for discussion and/or a motion.
Wonderful project. Nothing further to say other than thanks to Mr. Schultz for his ongoing excellent work in this arena. And if Commissioner Teal doesn't have any additional commentary, I'm happy to make a motion.
If you're willing to make a motion to approve, I'm willing to second, and I'd be happy to speak in favor of the motion at that time.
You got it. I will make a motion to approve a contract with Elite Industries Incorporated for construction of the Entertainment District Trail, invitation for bid number 002-21 in the amount of $300,333.
Second, and wish to speak in favor of the motion.
Please do.
First and foremost, I mean, it was telling once we put the map up, because, I mean, those buildings that are kind of to the north, that's like where the old Mickey Mouse Club was, right? Yeah, listen, those businesses have had a really tough time during COVID. I was speaking with Mayor Millet just the other day, and there's some real concerns on the Lone Tree Council about the viability, the survivability of those businesses during this time of crisis. So, my standard in Castle Rock was that the average home price in Castle Rock was about $300,000. And of all the people in that, $75,000 population town could, come together on a project and put in the price of a home in order to help what I think is connecting residents to their local businesses and giving them a way to, just walk there. Well, definitely here at the county, where I think our average home price is a little bit higher than $300,000. I definitely think this is something we could get behind and definitely do for our residents up there.
Thank you. We have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, and that motion passes. Thank you, Mr. Schultz. The final item on the regular agenda is a resolution approving the adoption of the 2021 Douglas County Fire Operating Plan. Michael Alexander for staff.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. Thank you. Speaking today on the Fire Operating Plan, which is a working document compiled each year by the Colorado Division of Fire Prevention and Control in conjunction with the Douglas County Sheriff's Office, the Board of County Commissioners of the County of Douglas, and the USDA Forest Service, Pike and San Isabel National Forests. Purpose of the plan is to implement cooperative wildfire protection on all lands within Douglas County. More about this plan, what it really is about partnerships. To your words today and every time I come to these meetings, and it's well taken. And it's something we take seriously here in the county in regards to the wildfire threat that we face year-round. This document is a playbook of sorts that helps us work together between the county, the local fire departments, the state of Colorado, and the U.S. Forest Service in implementing the hard, heavy, fast fire suppression philosophy that we embrace wholeheartedly here in the county. Furthermore, it helps us lay out how we're preparing for another potentially busy summer. And we're grateful for all the snow that's come, but we always are mindful that any year can bring us terrible conditions and call upon us to react. So I'd be happy to take any questions or comments that any of you have.
Questions or comments?
Thank you, Madam Chair. And Mike, thank you so much. You accomplish an incredible amount for the county on a variety of levels, but we do know that this is a top priority for the county, as the experts warn of severe drought conditions, and we're just honored to partner with you and identify ways to be proactive around hard, heavy, and fast. So thank you for this.
Yeah, Mike, thanks a lot. I mean, I've had a chance to see, Chief Kroom put together a few of these in terms of fire strategy in Castle Rock over the years, and of course, Chief Morales before him. This is my first where I've looked at the county's plan, and it looks like a quality plan to me. Every time I was thinking, yeah, well, what about this? I turned the page and I'd find, yeah, what about that? So, no, good plan, well done, well executed, keep it up.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mike. I also support this. I saw a press release this morning that Wendy is working on, and it stated that we spend over $870,000 to prepare for the wildfire season, and over $400,000 of that alone goes to the helicopter that we have here for 2 periods of 45 days each. And I think that really points out to our residents. I'm not aware of any other community that has a helicopter on standby. Are you aware?
Not in Colorado, ma'am.
Okay, so again, our citizens, I hope they are paying attention to what you and your staff are doing, and in partnership with all the other fire departments, so that we have a plan for not if, but when that fire comes. So thank you for your work.
Thank you.
Are there any citizens who would like to address the board on this topic? Seeing no one come forward, Ms. Dunning, is there anyone online?
I have no hands raised.
Thank you. I will close citizen comment and bring it back to the board for a discussion or a motion.
Madam Chair, if it pleases the board, I'd like to make a motion. Wait, thank you. Madam Chair, if it pleases the board, I'd like to make a motion to approve a resolution approving the adoption of the 2021 Douglas County Fire Operating Plan.
Second.
I have a first and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, and that motion carries. Thank you, Mr. Alexander. I will bring this back to the board then for any commissioner comments.
You know, Madam Chair, our hearts are certainly heavy today as Douglas County Commissioners as we acknowledge the tragedy that occurred in Boulder. We're certainly extending our hearts and our prayers and thoughts to those that are directly impacted, which include all of the families, first responders, and Coloradans that are processing what happened.
Thank you, Commissioner Layden, and I agree with your comments. Thank you. Commissioner Teal?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Mike, it was snowing again when I got in here. So fingers crossed, buddy. I hope it's a really lazy summer for you, man.
Thank you, Commissioner Teal. I'd like to go through the county manager's report because he put so much information in there. I want him to know that I read it. And I always pick out something that I think is something that the public would be interested in knowing. I understand that the Glendale Off-Leash Dog Park is the most popular open space park that we have. And that it says special project staff is working with open space staff to design and construct improvements at the most used county open space park. Improvements will include improved parking, drainage and erosion control features, vegetation reestablishment, and the improvements will be phased over time starting this year in 2021. Funds from this, I'm sure, are coming from the .17 sales tax, the open space sales tax that is scheduled to sunset in 2023. And the board is in discussions about what we're going to do with that. But this is one of the important things that that money is used for, because as the most important park, I mean, when I think we have gorgeous places like Sandstone, and then I find out that the most used county open space park is the Glendale Off-Leash Dog Park. It just puts things in perspective. So know that your county is working hard for you to provide entertainment for you and your pets. So thank you. And if there's no other comments, this meeting will end today at 2:08. I think this could be a record. Thank you, everybody.